back to my channel. My name is Erica, and this is the Love Project, where we discuss all things love: love of God, love between family dynamics, love between friendships, love in marriage, and every area of your life. So, welcome back. If you are new here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We drop a video every week, so be sure to come back and catch up on all the old videos. And yes, join the Love Squad. So, I have what I believe is a great topic for us today. We are going to discuss taking your rightful place. So, it's been a lot of conversation about this masculine and feminine energy, right? So, I'm not really trying to focus on energy. I'm trying to focus on our place as a man and as a woman. So that's pretty much what we're gonna be talking about today. So I kind of want to dig into the roles and the duties, right? Because every time you go and talk about what's the role of a man and what's the role of a woman, listen, the wires get crossed and it become this big old debate, and people feel some type of way and get offended, right? Because we're in this era of this whole feminist and what women is and what women ain't, and how women can do everything that men can do, and so on and so forth. However, we just gonna get this out the way now. I don't believe and or agree with that logic. If you've seen my old videos, you know. But mainly the reason I don't agree that women can do everything that men can do is because I believe in the Word of God, and the Word of God show me that there is a distinct purpose for men and a distinct purpose for women, and the only thing that the Lord described us as being the same as is both being made and created by Him, and both of us operating in unison when we become married and when we become one, right? So, aside from that, I ain't agreeing with all these theories and all these ideologies that go around about, what men can do and what women can do. I'm gonna stick with the word, I'm gonna follow the word, and I'm gonna stick with my body because, baby, I ain't trying to do all that. But to each his own, right? So with roles and duties, I do feel like people kind of mix the two. I do feel like the difference would be that roles are principle based, right? So you have roles that's based on principles, and we'll dig into that a little later. However, duties is based on skills and function, right? So we can think about it pretty much with like a job. So if you go on a job, you work for a corporation, there is many roles and many duties, right? But you agree and go into contract for a particular role. This is your job title and this is your role within the company. However, the duties can vary. So even though you can be the manager of the department, your role is the manager, but you can very much do the same work that your employees under you are doing, because duties is flexibility. Duties is based on what helps us win. Like, duties is based on what help you get to the end goal. And so that's pretty much how I see it when it comes to family dynamics, right? You have a role in your family, and the role is whatever your placement is, whether you agree to it or if you had to just fall in line. So I am the second child of six. I'm the oldest girl of six. That is my role. I'm a daughter, I'm a niece, I'm a granddaughter, I'm a sister, right? In one case I'm a little sister, in another case I'm a big sister, right? So those are the roles. Those are the roles that I have. The duties can vary. So because my older brother didn't live with us, I operated in duty as the oldest child. I was second in command when my mama was out the house. Um, Everybody had to listen to me. I had to be responsible for the house, right? So that's what I mean by duty. That duty could have easily changed had my brother been in the household. So if my brother was living with us, he would be the oldest child, therefore we would have to listen to him. And he will be the person we will be looking up to when my mama left the house. So again, roles is principle based, right? Whereas duties is based on what helps the family win, what helps the marriage win, what helps the job, or what meets that end goal. So I just kind of want us to kind of dig into this so that one, we can figure out our role early on. I believe the quicker you figure out your role, the easier it'll be for you to be able to succeed right in that role. Another example I would use is, based on like my family dynamics and the role that I had. There was a lot of duties that I had and I took on for my family. But when my role changed from daughter, aunt, big sister, little sister, and all these things, those roles remain the same, but I got an additional role and I became a wife. With that, duties had to change because why? The goal changed. The goal went from what can I do to be my best self and serve and give and so on in my family dynamic to what can I do to make my marriage win? What can I do to meet the goals that we have as a unit, right? So you have to be able to make those switch. And again, a lot of the stuff we be talking about, we have these conversations because you can use this in every area of your life. I literally just use examples of being on the job, so you can use this in every area of your life. And sometimes I believe that the Lord put these conversations on my heart so that I give you something to think about, right? And then you can go back and play with it and be like, so what role am I like functioning in right now? What is with your family? What is with your household and so on and so forth? Maybe it'll help you even designate some roles and some duties to the people that's in your household. So for instance, if you have kids, right? Now you can start setting some standards because you take on the idea of it's not just you doing everything around the house. No, everybody got to contribute. Everybody got to make sure that we get to the end goal, which is one, having a comfortable house, having a clean house, having a healthy family dynamic, all these things that everybody have a part to play. And I feel like a lot of time, especially in black households, the mom, right, go work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day, still gotta come home and cook and do all the cleaning, and everybody just laying around, nobody ain't doing nothing. And it's like, baby, no, we not doing that. That's one thing I will say about Spencina. That's my mama. When I tell you, my mama went to work, we had chores, and we had, listen, that's why there ain't nothing I can't do around the house because my mama didn't play that. And if she came home, and if she came home and that house wasn't clean and we ain't do what we were supposed to do, if we ain't play our part, wasn't gonna be no sleep. You hear me? So my mama went to work. She was like, she not gonna go out, work all day and come home and have to clean up after us. And so we've just always been that way. And it's so important, even with cooking. Like, my mama, she ain't have time to cook. Like, my mama is queen 10-minute meals. My mama could cook anything in 10 minutes. I done seen her cook beans. I done seen her cook cabbage. Now, this stuff take a little time. Now with her, everything 10 minutes. But that's how it was. She was a single mom. She worked and she had to make it do what it do. But then I stepped in. So as I got older, I started cooking. And that was one less thing my mama had to worry about. Now she come home, house clean, food cooked, right? And so you have to be able to get in where you fit in and play that role, and also, you know, give people their place and their assignments in the family. Is we won, and we got to make it happen. It shouldn't fall on one person. How do we get back to the basics, right? So the basics is that we function as a unit. So this is, again, whether you're talking about a marriage, whether you talk about family, whether you talk about parent to child relationship, you name it, we function as a unit, right? And when a person is off post, when a person is not operating fully in their role, things fall off, and you gonna see it. It might hold on for a little bit, but that thing is gonna show its head, and you gonna know that this person ain't been handling their business. And I feel like that's what we are with marriages now, because everybody done left tradition, and we've gotten into this modern time where everybody do what they want. It's like I don't see the oneness of marriage like I used to. You know, it's like the wife doing this and the husband doing this, and it's like literally they two people in a relationship, and everybody like, well, do what work for you. You is one. So how you gonna do what work for you, and you got a whole nother person you're responsible for? Even when we talk about like the village, right? The village was a big thing. I remember the village. I grew up in a project, and so like I said, my mom used to work. My neighbors used to watch us. I was watching us in the house, but my neighbors watched our house. If I came out that door, if we came out, where y'all going? What they'll literally come knock on the door. Y'all all right? Y'all good? So I remember the village, and my grandmother used to live right across the court. My aunt used to live on the other side of town, but she would sleep at my grandma's house all the time. So we was just always in community, and there was always somebody. If you needed something, if something happened, that can be right there at any given moment. And now we just don't have that no more. Like I can see, and I'm very big on like children, like not cussing and stuff, but I can see children doing something, and everything in me want to be like, you, whatever. But you can't do that no more. Like you can't do that no more. Don't be telling nobody children nothing. And I'm like, what happened? How do we get back to the basics, right? One, trust. I feel like we have lost so much trust within each other, and it has bled into marriages, right? So, say you have a blended family. Before, listen, I grew up with a stepdaddy. He whooped us, he punished us, you name it. He taught us, he loved us, the full nine. But now you have people that literally will marry a person that can't tell their child nothing. Like how? How do you love this person enough to marry them, but you don't trust them enough to have your child's best interest, to, you know, tell your child right from wrong, to even discipline your child, right? And I think the key to getting back to the basis is getting back to love, right? The reason why we don't confide in our neighbor no more is because we not loving our neighbor as we love ourselves, like the word tell us. At the end of the day, when you make a vow, it's between you and that person and God. Till death do you part. Your children gonna grow up and grow out. So for you to subject your children to people that you claim you love till death do you part, but they can't tell them nothing to you know, contribute to every area of that child life, that's crazy. That is crazy to me. So like I said, just getting back to love. What is love, right? Love is sacrifice. Love is sacrifice, and we have to be willing to sacrifice for one another. Sacrifice what I want sometimes. Sacrifice my beliefs and everything I grew up knowing. to learn something new if it's gonna again benefit the team, right? Love is correction. Like I mentioned, it's no way you can say you love this man or this woman and they can't tell your children nothing, right? They need to be able to correct your kids. They need to be able to correct you. That is love. God chastens or corrects those that he loves. So for a person to see you doing wrong, for a person to see your child doing wrong, for a person to see, you making a bad decision or you steering in the wrong direction and they don't correct you, that ain't love. Love is correction. Love is demanding. Listen, love requires action. So it's going to demand something from you. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to change something. You're going to have to try something. Love requires you to do the work, to do some work, to put your feet to the pavement, to work hard, right? That's what love is. Love is so much different than like. And so, you know, even going back to the love is sacrifice, like when the vows tell us, through sickness and in health, you think that ain't no sacrifice? At one minute y'all was out partying and dancing, and now this person bedridden and you have to take care of them and whatever, and you don't even know how long this gonna be. That's sacrificial. You sacrificing everything y'all could be doing, you want to be doing, you feel like y'all should be doing, to cater and serve them, right? So I think the key to getting back to the basics is really loving on people fully, putting the fear away, putting the trust issues away, putting the insecurity away, putting the shame away, like putting that stuff away and saying, here, right? It's gonna cost and it might be scary, but you saying that you want something forever, isn't it worth the risk? It should be worth the risk. I'm gonna leave that there. I see you. I see your face. I don't see you, but I see you. So I'm gonna leave that there. So let's get more into these roles and these duties, right? So let's go into the role of the man. So again, I'm gonna always go back to the word. The role of the man is to be a protector, is to be a provider, is to be the lead, right? And that's leading in every area, right? The Bible said that the man is the head of the wife. Facts, right? You don't have to like it, but it's the truth. A man is a defender. So I always say, if you want to know how men operate, look at his wife. If you want to know if a man is a good man, look at his wife. She gonna tell it all. Her mannerisms, her demeanor, the way she handle herself, how she look, you name it. You want to see what type of man a man is, look at his wife. So I know this lady, she in her 70s, and I used to do her hair, and I would be like, you coming? Oh yeah, child, I gotta get my hair done, and I gotta, go to the nail shop and get my nails done, because my husband don't like me looking any kind of way. I mean, in her 70s, and still, that's the expectation, right? And I don't find nothing wrong with that. I think that's a beautiful thing, because to me, that says he as a man understand that she represent him, right? So he leading in that area. He leading her to say, when you go out, you represent me. Therefore, this is how I prefer you to represent. I'm all for that. Men love the women in their life and train the men in their life, right? That is a man's role. Women are to be loved. That's what we want. That's what we need. That's how we flourish. So whether it's, men love their mothers. They love their wives, they love their daughters, right? And they just gravitate to loving on women. And again, because we've got so far away from the basics, we find ourselves where men, they can't love on us the way they used to. They just don't. Like, it's almost like pulling teeth to get just a general thing. Like, you could be struggling with bags. It ain't many men that's gonna help you. But why? Because men constantly say that when you go to open the door, go to do something nice for a woman, they not receptive or they're not grateful. So they like, I could, and it's like we've just, we've just made it so bad for ourselves. I really feel like these last two generations have really made it bad for women, and men dynamics. And so into the role of a woman, I believe that the woman is, as the word say, a helpmeet. We are meant to help. We're meant to nurture, right? That's why we get to give birth. So we're meant to nurture, and we nurture our children, and we nurture everybody else too, right? We support. I always say, not only women, but black women is the most supportive people you'll ever meet. Everything that is presented to the world, once a black woman, I ain't gonna say a black woman, but once black women put their stamp on it, baby, you up there. You hear me? Everything we put our stamp on soars to the top. We women are made to support. Men ain't paying attention to half the stuff enough to support. And men don't care about half the stuff to support. But we are gonna support. We support our family, we support our friends, but we are just naturally supportive, right? That's our role. That's what we do. And we do it well. Do we need to find a balance with it? Yes, because sometimes we support some foolishness. I have a topic in mind, but I'm gonna leave it be for now. But sometimes we support some real foolishness. So everything don't need our support, but that is our role, and we represent. Like I was saying earlier, you want to know what type of man a man is? Look at his wife. Look at his woman, because we are meant to represent. We are meant to represent our family. We are meant to represent God. Like, we are a representation, right? That's our role. And I know, again, I always think about like um the older like marriages and relationships. Like, you'll see the families going to church and all this different stuff. That woman, she done dressed everybody to the T, husband included, and she all done up. She gonna represent. Baby, you ain't gonna catch her and her family down bad. Not a day. You hear me? Because that's a woman that understands her role, and that she represents her husband. She represents her family, right? And this even go back to your maternal family. Literally, people, they still do this in other countries, but they marry based on namesake. Why? Because your daddy or your grandfather was so and so. You are a representation of them. So I am willing to marry you. I am willing to pay, right? Pay your family to take you on, because you the way you represent them and what you represent is going to take me to the next level. So please don't get it twisted, ladies. You are a representation. And if you're single, represent yourself right now. Because again, that representation matters. Don't think that men ain't paying attention. When they see you, they're watching how you represent. They're watching how you carry yourself. They're watching what you're doing, how you move. because they know that whatever you do now and however you operate now, that's gonna become stamped to them once you become their woman. And if they feel like you're gonna represent them right, oh, they want you on their team. They sure do. They sure do. See, that's what I'm saying. These young boys, they don't know. They don't know. They ain't think about none of that. Cause child, baby, who they got represent them now? Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy. But anywho, also, women are made to occupy space. Listen, don't take this lightly. You are made to occupy space. I always think about when I first came to my husband's house, which is the house we live in now. But at the time, I was coming to visit. And when I came to visit, um, it was a man's house, a man's house, right? He ain't have much of nothing going on. They ain't had nothing on the wall. I mean, it was just the most plain, type situation. He only had what he needed: living room set, TV, bed, whatever, right? What he needed to make it through this life. And I remember I was in the kitchen and I was like, I said, you should move your microwave right here. I was like, you see this space? This is where the microwave go. And he moved the microwave or whatever, and he said, man, he said that looks so much better. That makes so much sense, right? And he often tell that story because he was saying that it's just something about a woman's touch, right? Something about what a woman bring to the table, to the atmosphere, right? So that is what we are. That is our role, to occupy space. When we step into a space, people should know we there. And you don't have to be boisterous. You don't have to have this big personality, but there should be something about you that says so and so is here. When we step into place, you gonna know she here or she here. I am one that take up space. I and I love it. I love it. I love to be me, to present me to the world. I ain't for everybody. And I'm okay with that. Totally fine. But one thing for sure and two things for certain. E was here. You hear me? E was here. Yes, Lord. So, that's what we do. We occupy space. And to tie it to the word, because I'm not just telling y'all this stuff. Listen, help me, Holy Ghost. But to tie it to the word, how I know we are meant to occupy space is because God said it is not good for man to be alone. Adam was alone by himself. And God said, this ain't good. I'm going to make him a helpmeet. Right? Made us, brought Eve on the scene, womb, man, right? And what we did, occupy space. Adam, life, family, relationship per se, didn't start until Eve came on the scene. Why? Because we occupied space. The garden was still a garden before Eve got there. Adam was still Adam. God was still God. But then he created us to what? Occupy the space. I'm more than sure. Even though Eve started some stuff in the garden, I'm more than sure Adam would say things got better when she got on the scene. Because that's what we do, women. We make things better. We multiply everything. We make everything bloom, blossom. At least that's what we're supposed to do. And when we're not doing that, that's how you find yourself in situations that we're in today. Because when we don't take our rightful place, it's going to be evident. And right now, I see much evidence of men not being in their rightful place, of women not being in their rightful place, and therefore our children are not in their rightful place. our families are not in their rightful place. So again, take what I'm telling you, apply it to your life. Think about your family, your household, and even yourself. You know what you need to do to make sure that you're operating in your role fully, right? And be flexible in the whole duty part. And again, when I talked about roles, I didn't get into who's supposed to do the cooking and who supposed to. That's do this. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you in your household. Do this can change, can move around. It's about winning at the end of the day. So whoever needs to do what to get it done, do it. But if the man be the head and the woman be the help me, y'all gonna be good. Y'all gonna be good, right? So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If there's anything you feel like I missed, put it in the comment section. But as always, love ya. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell.